I'm a big fan of Arkanoid. Any block-bouncing, brick-busting Breakout game, really. I also dig a good old-school horror motif, so Devilish on the Game Gear already had an advantage. This Game Gear title dropped in 1991 for the Sega handheld device. It was developed by Opera House and AI System Tokyo. Sage's Creation was the publisher over here in North America. Hot B released it in Europe, Tech Toy in Brazil, and Genki Samsung in Japan. It's Arkanoid, Breakout, Pong, with a twist. Devilish has the player controlling two paddles in a scrolling adventure. Basically, you make your way through 8 stages that scroll both vertically as well as horizontally. There are 2 paddles. The bottom one remains flat through the adventure. Clicking one of the 2 face buttons on the Game Gear will swap the top paddle's position. Left facing, right facing, trifecta force battle mode. This is an extremely clever idea. Yeah, the horror theme is cool, but conceptually, I really like this. It's a Breakout game where the player controls the offense. Basically, you make your way through the stages destroying barricades and eliminating baddies, all while battling an unforgiving timer in order to reach the goal. If you're a fan of action, pinball, Breakout, dark imagery, and or the Sega Game Gear, this is probably making you salivate a bit, huh? Like, I don't want to put words in your mouth or ideas in your brain, but it all sounds pretty awesome, yeah? Well, it is, but it isn't, and I'm probably going to be too lenient here, as a fan of all those things.
Faster than the laser bullet!
Devilish is clumsy, awkward, and brief. Clumsy because the physics are inconsistent to the point of feeling straight up broken at times. Awkward because clicking one button to cycle through the paddle variants feels sluggish when compared to the breakneck action. Brief because the game can be beaten in less than 20 minutes if you know what you're doing. The ball doesn't react well at all. It's a crapshoot. Sometimes it will ricochet properly, most of the time it just does whatever the hell it wants. Yeah, this is Devilish, so maybe these inconsistencies are intentional, but I seriously doubt it. Like, I seriously doubt it. Your eye should be on the ball. Bosses and other baddies appear, but their projectiles will only affect the trajectory of your bouncy boy. The paddles don't exist outside of being the tool you use to push your protagonist along. It sounds easier than it is, or maybe my eyes are just prone to staring away from balls. All of the public showering experiences I've had just forces my gaze towards the paddles, I guess. Paddles, sporting events, gym activities, prison. At times it seems like the game doesn't want you to break out and have fun. Take these ball-gulping demon dragon head things for instance. They are often packed into a tiny area together, so it's easy to get snared into a suck loop. Any enemy in a video game that grabs me and holds me back is a big problem. What makes these bastards particularly awful is that they spat you out so quickly with reckless abandon that it becomes a hassle to regain any semblance of composure. The same happens upon death. When I have a good groove going, I'm nearly unstoppable, but one mistake often results in a respawn loop. Devilish pitches the ball at you like a total asshole when you die, similarly to that guy Chet, who still hasn't learned how to respectfully underhand toss an object.
Hey, Chet, have you seen my keys?
Oh, fuck you, Chet. These waterfalls can be a bit of a problem as well. I'm not sure who designed some of this stuff. While I'm griping, I might as well get into the sheer level of incompetence that went into the final stage's design. Don't worry, fans of this game, I'll say something nice eventually so this review doesn't ruin your entire week. Devilish nearly becomes insufferable during the home stretch due to the tight time restriction. This was either an oversight or an artificial means of padding out the game's length. Either way, it is unpleasant. I rarely lose a ball to the final Salt Shaker crustacean boss, but I almost always run out of time. You need to be damn near perfect in the final level to have a chance at completing the game. The journey is a breeze up to this point, so it's clear that the developers wanted to prolong the jittery agony that is this thing as long as possible. It left a sour taste in my mouth. Sour balls. More often than not, you'll be rolling your ball over zombies that look more like the gossipy pepper pots I call neighbors than anything from traditional horror fiction. There's a time trial mode in the options as well as the ability to change the speed of your in-game projectile. The difficulty can be tweaked and you can choose how many balls you want to play with. I wish that was a choice in prison. Like most Sega exclusives, the soundtrack is also included on the cart, and this is where I can finally say something nice about Devilish. The music is awesome. Hitoshi Sakimoto's work is excellent. The opening track has a sexy Commodore 64 thing going on, and there are a lot of pieces here for such a short game. At the end of the day, Devilish is decent, but it's also a tough game for me to recommend. When I first discovered this thing as a kid, I couldn't get enough of it, but I think most of my infatuation revolved around having a Breakout clone on the go. Not only that, but this thing twisted the formula into an action game. Unfortunately, it falls flat for all of the reasons I mentioned. I still think this idea could work at the hands of better developers, but sadly, Devilish on the Game Gear is average at best. A year later, a pseudo-sequel remake dropped for the Genesis, and next time we'll be taking a look at that one, so stay tuned.
¡Diablo!